mid-conversation with someone, everything's flowing fine, and then they ask you something. You answer. And then, nothing. They don't respond right away. 3 seconds pass, then 4, and suddenly, you're not sure if you said something wrong, if they're upset, or if you're supposed to say more. The silence wasn't awkward a moment ago. Now it feels like you're both standing in it. Here's what just happened. The pause didn't change. Your perception of it did. And that shift happened because your brain started scanning for meaning the second the rhythm broke. Conversations have a pulse, back and forth, a natural tempo that tells you both people are still connected. When that tempo breaks, even for just a few seconds, your mind doesn't stay neutral. It starts searching. It asks, why did they stop? Did I miss something? Are they thinking about what I said? Or are they thinking about how to leave? And the longer the silence stretches, the louder those questions get. Most people think awkwardness comes from the pause itself. It doesn't. It comes from what you do while you wait. Your brain fills the gap with guesses. And because humans are wired to detect social threats faster than social safety, those guesses lean negative. You assume hesitation means discomfort. You assume silence means disapproval. You assume you're the reason it got weird, even when you're not. But here's the part most people miss. The other person might not feel awkward at all. They might just be thinking, or distracted, or trying to figure out how to word something. The pause only became uncomfortable the moment you decided it was. And once you decided, your body followed. You shifted, you looked away. You filled the space with a nervous laugh or an unnecessary comment. And that's when the other person felt it too. You created the thing you were afraid of. This happens to almost everyone, and most don't notice they're doing it. Because the discomfort feels like it's coming from outside. It feels like the silence is pressing in on you. But the silence is neutral. What's not neutral is the story you told yourself about it in under 5 seconds. The human brain can't handle ambiguity in social situations for very long. It wants answers. So when someone doesn't respond right away, your mind generates a reason. And that reason is rarely, they're just pausing. It's almost always something heavier, something personal. Here's where it gets interesting. If you're with someone you trust deeply, a 4-second pause barely registers. You don't scan their face for signs of rejection. You don't spiral. You just wait. Because your brain already has the answer. It already feels safe. The pause doesn't trigger the search. But with someone new, or someone you're not sure about, that same pause can feel unbearable. Same length, same silence, completely different experience. That tells you something important. The awkwardness isn't in the pause. It's in the uncertainty of where you stand with the other person. And once you realize that, you start noticing how often you're filling space, not because the conversation needs it, but because you need to know you're still okay. You're still liked. You're still safe. The words aren't for them. They're for you. This isn't about being insecure or overthinking. It's about how your nervous system works. Silence between two people used to carry weight. It could mean danger. It could mean exclusion. Your brain still treats it that way, even when you're just sitting across from someone at coffee. So when the pause stretches and you feel that pull to say something, anything, just to break it, that's not weakness. That's your brain trying to close a loop it thinks is open. It's trying to confirm we're still good. You're still here, but sometimes the loop was never open. Sometimes the other person was just quiet, and your reaction to that quiet made it feel like something it wasn't. The moment a pause becomes awkward is the moment you stop trusting the silence. And once you stop trusting it, you give it power. You turn waiting into a test, and every second that passes feels like you're failing it. But you're not failing anything. You're just sitting with someone who stopped talking for a few seconds. That's all it ever was. The rest was the story you built while you waited. And most of the time, that story was never true. The silence doesn't mean what you think it means, but you won't know that until you stop deciding what it means before it's over.